that is the sound of I Never Wore White by Katy Perry. Cool new song I'm going to show you today. If you like what I'm teaching, please, I'd appreciate it if you hit subscribe down below and leave a comment. So this song, I'm going to capo up on the 2nd fret on this one, just so you know going into it. It's easier to play that way. And I'm just going to show you the verse feel and then the chorus feel, and there's a real short little bridge afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the C chord, because they do a little lick that I'm going to show you later in the pro version, a sort of arpeggio lick. But it's best if I start on the C, and then it goes like this. I'm going to play the verse feel for you. So that's the verse feel, and the chorus actually goes from the C to an E minor. But let me explain first the verse feel and the changes. So if you want the complete blueprint for this song, including tabs, chords, and more, go to jimmydillon.com/blueprint. It's completely free, and it'll help you learn this song a lot easier. As I mentioned, I started on this C. In actuality, there's a little arpeggio that precedes this that I'll get to later. And what happens is it does a little walk down. And that one you go, it's like a C, G to A minor. Or you can just walk down. It does C note, D note. And that's the verse. So the verse is in A minor, it goes. And then it does a little passing. Doing there, I'm hitting an A minor, I'm in an A minor here, and then I hit a G, okay, kind of jump it to F, you can play it like that if you want, and then it does a quick change, F, E minor, D minor, and it sounds like this, and then it goes back to the C, and then it does an A minor, back to a verse feel, and the F, and then it goes to C, and then it goes to an E 7th. It's a major chord, okay? And by the way, all the chords I'm calling out to you, I'm calling them out as they land in the capoed thing, so that's that way much easier for you. Okay, and that sets up the chorus. The chorus goes like this. Well, then C, E minor, A minor, C, E minor, A minor, C, E minor, C, E minor, A minor. Then it just hangs there and goes into the next verse. Alright, so then it just goes back into the verse feel. Repeats a verse, repeats as a pre-chorus, and repeats the chorus, exactly the same as I just taught you. Then there's a little slight bridge here, and I want to show you that. It goes from an F to an E minor, to a D minor, to a C, and it does a little breakdown at the end. C, E minor, E minor, A minor, F, C, E minor, A minor. Now this walk up I'm doing, which I'm going to get to on my pro version of this lesson, it's like an A minor, and it's really like an A minor G. That's probably the easiest easiest way to explain it. But I'm going to get into that in detail in the pro version of this lesson. And that's pretty much the way it goes, just vamps out and eventually just goes orchestral. There's an orchestral like a violins, and it plays these same changes over and over. And then it finally ends C, G, C. And that's the way it resolves. So that's Never Wore White. I Never Wore White by Katy Perry. A cool little song, capoed on the 2nd fret. If you like what you see in here, please hit subscribe down below. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you down the road. Hey, it just occurred to me, some of you might be wondering, I'm kind of a blues rock guy, slide guitar and all that. Why am I playing a Katy Perry song? Well, the reason being, I think a well-crafted pop song, for me anyway, is worth studying. It makes me stretch out a little bit as a player and as a musician. So I'm always interested in, if a song is really popular, I wonder why. What are the changes? What's the vibe? So for me, this is a really good exercise in both musicality and playing the guitar to study a really well-crafted pop song like this. So that's kind of why I wanted to approach this song and share it with you. So this song, I Never Wore White by Katy Perry, is basically written on piano for piano. So it's a little bit of a challenge to play it on guitar. That's why we capoed on the 2nd fret, so we can get some of those piano voicings, right? So now I'm going to go into depth on how the song goes and all the little inside moves. It starts out with just an orchestral move on the piano. It goes. Obviously a wedding song, and that's what the song's about, I Never Wore White. So this one, I would say there's a lot of chords in that, but the best way to approach it is just to play the arpeggio, which again goes like. Leads us to the actual song, and the way it works is they do a little walk down, which could be really voiced as a C G to an A minor if you want to. Okay, so I do it. I don't necessarily hit the G chord on that one. That's just too much. So I would do just a C walk down like this. Okay, you're on your A string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger. Very common walk down. I've heard a million times. So what that does really here is, since they do an arpeggio in the beginning and they land on the C chord, that's truly the beginning of the song. And what you'll notice about this song is it had a lot, I call them stabs, when you do kind of jump the beat on it. There's a lot of those, and so getting to the song itself, the meat of the song, is. Again, there's the stab. You see that? I went from an A minor and I hit a G note. And again, the notes I'm actually hitting here are different because I've got a capo. So I'm doing it just in the sense of our visuals here. It's to an F. Now here, you have a couple choices. You can do a full F, E minor, D minor, which is okay. Bit dramatic. I would probably do something like a single note. So when you get that F chord, kind of effective to do that. But if you want, you can hit. So you're just walking that D string down. So what you'll notice is you have a repeating pattern here of. This is a common tool that we use when we're walking down. So again, jump that G to the F. Now hit a F, E minor, D minor. Okay. Then back to the C. Alright, so let me just show you the little lick that happens in between verses. When you get back to the C, it rests on an A minor and it goes. And that's how it gets into the second half of the verse. So that's, if you want that lick, it goes. lick that he does. And then you're back in the verse. Just repeating what we already did. And then it goes to an E major. Okay? And this sets up the pre-chorus. So you'll notice we've been hitting E minor all the way. This is an E major, it's actually a 7th. That's sort of the dramatic change there, that's the turnaround. Then it goes to the sort of orchestral part where it goes. So that's an F to a D minor. Sometimes I let the open G string ring out. So now you've done the verse, and then you've done the E major, and set up the what I would call the pre-chorus. Up to the G. Now this here, they sort of empty out on the record, especially on the first chorus. It just lets it. Does again a little stab, a little walk up. It goes like this. Which is the second half of the chorus. What am I doing there? I'm basically doing an A minor, G, C. But again, the way I taught you that walk down, you don't always have to hit the full chord, so you can just go. So you'll notice there I'm hitting an A minor, and then I've got my second finger on the A string, 2nd fret, and my pinky on the 3 on the B string. That's a walk up. And by the way, you'll be able to use these in lots of different songs. It happens all the time. To see. So that's the inside tips on the chorus, and it does that twice through. And the verses then repeat, as I spoke to you before in the bare bones lesson. You repeat the verse, and then it does the E major, and does the pre-chorus again. Does a full chorus. Now you'll notice on the second chorus there's a little more rhythm going on. So from a guitarist's point of view, the first chorus is very, just empties out. But the second chorus, there's a little more rhythm in it because we're further into the song. Okay. So here's the little bridge that happens, and it only happens one time, and it's very short. It hits an F. It's kind of a driving rhythm, E minor, and then a D minor, and then it hangs on the C. It resolves to the G, and then the whole thing empties out. Chorus form. This is called the vamp. Just around and around. A little walk up. That's when the groove kicks in. Up, C, Katy Perry. I've never worn white. Katy Perry had never worn white, and I do believe she has not worn white. I think she's getting married to Orlando Bloom here in a minute. So that's kind of cool. But what I like about that song, and I sort of illustrated that in my pro lesson here. All those little walk-ups, you don't always have, you'll see on chord charts sometimes, a full chord. which is fine. But if the more subtle, the more nuanced version is that, you know how Paul McCartney does a, sometimes less is more with that. Sometimes if you hit a full chord, it's not as effective as a walk down. Same with, and that song that walks up, it walks down several times. The other thing they do rhythmically on that song is there's a lot of what I call stabs. And so you're playing, you jump in. It's effective as a rhythm tool. So I think this song is pretty well written and really well executed. Whoever wrote that song, I don't know, but I think I like the chords in it, I like the changes in it. I love the fact that it goes to E7. So I've Never Worn White by Katy Perry. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe down below. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you down the road.
Jimmy has the coolest guitar lessons. Go to jimmydillon.com/free and and get all your amazing gifts. He's the best. Roll! Rock and roll! Stay awesome and rock and roll!